If this isn't the last hurrah of the gas-powered sports sedan, then it's certainly one of its most poetic, because what we're looking at today in all its sky blue glory is a car that dares to go against the current, literally and figuratively. This is a 2025 Kia Stinger GT, and while the world races toward electrification, this machine doubles down on visceral power, rear-wheel drama, and design that punches way above its badge. You're going to want to hear this engine sing before the silence of the EV era takes over. Welcome back to the channel, where we break down the machines that move us. Cars, vans, SUVs, and yes, unapologetically bold grand tours like this. Whether you're here for performance insights, deep cuts on chassis dynamics, or just to appreciate automotive artistry, you're in the right place. Now let's talk Stinger. Since its debut, the Kia Stinger has always felt like a car from an alternate universe. A rear-drive platform, twin-turbo V6, fastback silhouette, Brembo brakes, limited slip differential from Kia, and yet, here we are. In 2025, the final version of the Stinger GT shows just how serious this car has always been, and why it's still worth your attention, even as its future dims. The sky blue paint is no accident. It's Kia's way of saying this car isn't hiding anymore. It demands to be seen and heard. Under the hood, the familiar 3.3-liter twin-turbo V6 is here, churning out 368 horsepower and 376 lb-ft of torque, routed through an 8-speed automatic transmission that's quick enough to feel dual-clutch sharp when you want it and smooth enough for grand touring when you don't. 0 to 60, 4.7 seconds. And yes, it'll do it all day. But raw numbers don't tell the whole story. The Stinger GT's magic lies in how it bridges the gap between European sports sedan poise and everyday usability on a canyon road. It feels composed, communicative, almost surgically precise in the way it transitions through bends. Steering is tight but never twitchy, and the chassis feels tuned by people who actually enjoy driving. There's balance here, real balance, that so many modern cars, obsessed with lap times or weight savings, often lose. Inside it's mature, driver focus, and subtly premium. Kia hasn't gone overboard with tech gimmicks. Instead, it's all about clean lines, supportive Nappa leather seats, and that subtle thrum from the engine that reminds you why you didn't buy a generic crossover. For 2025, there's updated software, more sound insulation, and a slight retune of the adaptive dampers that makes long hauls even more refined. And yet, this isn't just about refinement. Tap the drive mode into Sport Plus, and the Stinger snarls. The exhaust valves open up, the transmission holds gears like it's daring you to downshift, and the rear end comes alive with just enough looseness to remind you this car is rear-wheel biased. There's soul here, something you can't code or simulate. But let's be honest, the Stinger GT has always been a bit of an underdog. It never sold in huge numbers, never quite cracked the image ceiling that names like BMW or Audi carry. And maybe that's what makes it so special. It's not trying to be something else. It's trying to be great on its own terms. And for those who know, who care about what a car feels like rather than what costs to lease, the Stinger GT is a cult classic in the making. As the automotive world leans further into EVs and autonomous everything, cars like the Stinger GT become time capsules. They represent an era when driving mattered, when style, sound, and the connection between machine and driver were paramount. This sky blue Stinger isn't just a send-off, it's a statement. One that says, I was here, I mattered, and I made people feel something. So if you've been thinking about it, don't wait. The 2025 Stinger GT is likely the last of its kind. It may not get another encore. But oh, what a finale this is. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the last great grand tour to wear a Kia badge, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps more enthusiasts like you find our content. Subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below. Would you daily a Stinger GT, or is this better kept as a future classic? Until next time, keep your revs high and your tires warm.